Yes. Did you guys enjoy your weekend? I know I did. I had a wonderful weekend. I sat there and got to watch a little bit of some one of my friends who played some Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then I got to work the Monday night football game. Actually, my whole family got to work. My brother did Sunday night. I did Monday night while my nephew did the Niners and Saints for Fox. So it was a great weekend, and I tell you, we had fun. But do you want to really know why I'm excited right now? Feels good. It feels like I did finally come back home. And I plan on keeping this and trying to go a little bit further. Check it out. Now you know why. Now you know why I'm happy. And now you know why this is just, and the sun is out. The sun comes out obviously after a great performance, a great weekend, because, these things happen. It was truly one of those blessed type situations that happen. But let's get right into it, because obviously there's been a lot of changes that I told you can easily be made in this league. There's tons of changes that could definitely be made. In the beginning, there were so many people that started out at the bottom, didn't think that they had a chance, and now we see some things that are slowly happening. So let's get straight to it. The first game, obviously, the Prince Hall G-Men 104-63, led by LaMarcus Murray with 114 yards with 3 touchdowns for the G-Men. And I'm telling you right now, with the Oakland Raiders sitting right now at first place at the division at 6-2, they look like a threat to the New England Patriots for the AFC, and possibly a candidate to go right back, not only into the playoffs, but go a little bit further deep, maybe the Super Bowl. But let's not get to them too excited. The Raider fans are just now coming out of the dark, and they enjoy being out here and enjoying some of the sunlight with the rest of us. So let's let them enjoy their day. Obviously, with keeping it 100 with Tyree, he sat there and started out like gangbusters, but finished with 63 points. Aaron Rodgers, obviously with 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception, just wasn't enough to keep it going. And I understand why his frustrations kicked in, especially when he had a lot of people that wasn't putting up the numbers that was expected. Then we roll over to Quick Six, who took care of business as usual, and it looks like he's just going to solidify that number 1 spot with 101-66 over Team Shelly. And we did have a Team Shelly citing a posting. She commented and let it be known that she's been paying attention. She's just been having a rough couple weeks. But she went down to Houston, got turned up a little bit, I guess, came back and said, you know what, it's just fantasy football. I'm not tripping. But it was glad to hear from her. I know that you're alive. I know that you're not, missing in action, and we still think about you, mama. But, her, with falling down again on this note, it wasn't a good factor. But Ezekiel Elliott had 21 points, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns for Quick Six. And then with Team Shelly, Harris had 17 points, 59 yards, a reception, TD, and a fumble. Then we move over here to Team Rowe. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy started out, I was considering him one of the bottom feeders. A guy that just said, you know what, you had a rough first 2 weeks, just give it up. Just give it up. But now look at him. He's a streaker, and he's acting up. This dude has 87 points over Team Williams, a guy who said he can come back and run the table. Almost, Greg. Almost. You had a good two win streak run, but that's where it ended. 87-85. Bryant for Team Rowe, the kicker, had 16 points. He was 3 for 3 out of the field goals and 4 for 4 extra points. For Team Williams, it was Blake Bortles with 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, but it just wasn't enough to carry him over to try to sustain that momentum that he said he can turn around and end up running the table. So it's safe to say that you'll be in the consolation bracket, buddy. Outside of that, we move over to the cat fight. Mimi and Tacoma versus the Black Cheetahs. Mimi was, doing her own thing. She's, out there campaigning, and she's got a lot on her plate as she goes along. But it feels good to, see her bounce back Unfortunately, it was against one of my personal friends, and the Black Cheetahs. Madre only had 89. 93 to 89 was the score. Matt Ryan for Mimi in Tacoma had 27 points. He was 344 yards, 4 TDs in the game. Bouncing back over to with Mimi. Bouncing over to the Black Cheetahs with Madre, she had Dak Prescott with 247 yards and 3 tubs. Moving right along over to the game of all games that I thought would be pretty interesting was Team Littlejohn. Team Littlejohn, 94 points. It was good to see him at the CenturyLink Field yesterday while we was at work. He was getting the muns. He had 94 points versus Team Hayes. Yes, and I'm glad, not necessarily that Team Hayes lost, but due to the fact that he lost because he's in my division, it gives me a little bit of a cushion because he was riding right there up on me. And if I would have lost and he would have won, he'd have took my place. It would have been a flip-flop. But no, he dropped. And instead of that, 94-75, Mark Ingram had 28 points, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 turnovers and a touchdown, versus Team Hayes, who had Julio Jones with 8 receptions and 111 yards with a touchdown, but it just wasn't enough. So now that being put in the back burner, that's the reason why I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But here's another reason why I'm happy.
I made it through. And everything I gave to you, I gave to you. You got it, it's coming. So are you ready? Are you ready for your blessing? Are you ready for your miracle? Are you ready for your blessing?
I said, and I quote, back on the Thursday comment, after the was it Thursday or Saturday? I can't necessarily remember, but I said, man, no, it was early Sunday, and I said, I'm hoping for a miracle. I said, I'm hoping that, the team headbusters can pull out some type of victory, some type of upset, and this will be one of the greatest upsets that we can ever see. And sure enough, I sat down there and I was paying attention, and sure enough, so was everyone else. And for it all come down to a Monday night game, the way that it did, it was you talk about stressful. I was working that Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills versus the Seattle Seahawks, and I tell you right now, Christine Michael was standing right there because that's all that was left for Team Knight to pretty much do her thing, which she ended up losing, by the way. Let's hurry up and announce the news. 101-100, Team Headbusters Steve Williams took care of business and beat the great Toya Knight that was sitting at number 1, who's been slaughtering everybody because she's got Tommy Boy Brady, and I'm so scared of that dude. And I hate when she's got him under the controls, what she can do, because she always running up over 100-something plus points, man. You don't stand a chance. But Steve came through in the clutch. And what better way for Steve to do it than to sit here and watch? I mean, we were watching Christine Michael because that's what it boiled down to. Christine Michael just needed basically a touchdown and the game would have been over. The game definitely would have been over. And I'm sitting down here and I'm watching that whole game, and it went all the way down to the wire. I mean, to the point to where I was sitting over here praying, and I was like, Lordy, please let these guys go over here and win this game.
I need you.
And they did it.
To help.
They pulled it off, and I'm telling you right now, it was such a thrill. And then when the game was over with, Steve was just, he posted that text that said, upset complete, and I was like, yes. I was on my way home, driving home. I was just, I wanted to stop and grab something, but I couldn't because the stores were closed. So anyway, it was 101-100. Team Headbusters take care of Miss Knight, and it puts me back in the fight. First place tie. Mike Evans for 27 points. He had 11 receptions, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Headbusters. And for Team Knight, it was Melvin Gordon 31 points, 196 yards in a tub. See, this is the reason why I got to be prepared, and I got to make sure that I'm ready. This Team Knight is gonna keep putting up the good fight, and I just, man, like I said, but it was great to see the victory, go to Steve. A consolation victory that he might be able to swing some momentum and keep going all the way. But with that being said, now that I know where we stand, here's what the playoff race looks like. And as you can see, it's anybody's ball game once again for the top 4. And this is what the playoff bracket were to look like right now. As you can see, the playoff brackets, the way it's set up, those are the first 4 that's in the final 4, and then you got the consolation bracket. But that's still subject to change, because once again, you got somebody like Team Rowe, you got Team Littlejohn that's in the mix, and oh boy, it's about to get real serious these next couple weeks. I don't know what the schedule looks like for some, but for myself, I got to get it going. I still got to concentrate, can't overlook any of the competition. I got to go back and get my revenge over the teams that I lost to. But it's not about me, it's about what we're doing, what you're doing, and how you're going to make sure that you're in the top 4. Until then, concentrate on next week. It's been a great week, a great medium weekend for the Boyd family, and I tell you, you want to check us out again, tune in to Fox, CBS, and ESPN at those respective times. I won't be doing any ESPN next week because obviously ESPN Monday Night Football will be in New York at MetLife Stadium. But hopefully, and then Seahawks will be on the road at New England, so I won't have any work next week for that. But Sean will still be available, and Devon will be available down in Oakland in the San Fran game. So until then, we'll holler, and we'll see you at the next event.